Hey everybody, how you doing? It's lunchtime, and you know what that means. Time for another great episode of Lunchtime Talk with Steve. Today we actually have Antonio Mascal on with us today. He's coming to us straight from Barbados, and he is a future Olympian. All right, because this man has the skills that it takes to get to the Olympics. All right, we're gonna be back in just a moment, and we'll talk to Antonio. All right, guys. All right, and we are back. Hey, so we have Antonio with us today. How's everything going, Antonio?
Hi, everything's cool. I'm highly blessed right now. How are you doing, man?
Doing awesomely awesome. You know how we do. Um, so introduce yourself to the viewers. Let them know who you are, and then we're gonna jump into a lot more about your Olympic dreams and things of that sort. But go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers.
Okay. Hi, my name is Antonio Moscal. I'm a track and field athlete, and I'm also an elite athlete in the 800 meters. I'm a multi-crystal gold medalist, national junior college champion, both by indoors, outdoors. I'm a multinational champion in the 800 meters.
Okay, so you said multinational champion. Where have you ran? What have you done so far?
Pardon me?
Where have you run? What areas or what countries have you ran in already?
Basically, it's so many that I can't give you off the top, but I've been to like almost every country there is except for the Middle East. But I was on
Mhm.
the circuit from a very young age. From the age time I was like 13, 14 years old, I was competing on the world circuit. So I've been to a lot of countries. I can name a few. I've been to Italy, I've been to Singapore, I've been to Germany, I've been to Poland, I've been to England, I've been throughout the USA, I've been to Brazil, I've been to Australia, and the list goes on.
All right, and so what's your fastest time?
Oh, My fastest time in the 800 is 147 flat.
What? Dude, you should be wearing a cape on your back or something. Yo, wait a minute. All right. So so talk to me a little bit more about your Olympic hopes, about the things that you're looking to do, because I was speaking to some other people, and I mean, and they're telling me that you're the man that can actually go to the Olympics and represent Barbados.
Um, yes, my dreams is not only to like qualify for the Olympics, but I need to put on podium performances. When I say podium performances, I mean that when I go there, that I just don't compete. I want to make it to the podium. And in order for me to do so, I need to like just stay healthy, stay fit, qualify as early as possible so that I could work on the things that I need to work on before the Olympics.
Like what, for example?
In terms of I came from a background of distance, whereas most of my track and field life, I was doing a lot of distance work rather than speed work. And that's where my downfall was because most of the guys had were faster than me, whereas I was stronger and have more endurance. But in terms of speed, I never really got to work on speed. So now as you become a senior, you actually realize like I'm an athlete, I need this, I need that. You start to learn your body more. You start to like understand certain things. And speed was one of my biggest downfalls because I didn't really work on it in my early days. But as I get older, I come to understand that I need more speed endurance.
All right. And so what do you need in order to get to the next level? Because you're already running, and like you said, you're already doing, all over the world. What do you need to get to that next level that you want to get to? Well, how can people help you to get to that next level?
Basically is our number one issue throughout not only with me but throughout Barbados with different athletes is funding. That's our main issue right now. We don't have that sort of support because as an athlete you need to be on time, be on point with your meals. You need supplements. You need to see a therapist. You need to see different people, and this is something that takes money. It takes funding. It takes support. We don't have that financial support right here. So at the end of the day, you going out there, you training twice a day, but you when you get home, you don't have enough nutrients to put back into the body. So really and truly, you think that you're doing good, but you destroying the body more than it is because you don't have the nutrients to put back into the body. And it's not necessary that you don't have the nutrients, you just don't have the financial support to get the nutrients that you need.
All right, and what about what about, well, actually, we have a question here. Oro was asking, is the coronavirus affecting your sponsorship or even your training for that matter? Is it affecting it?
Pretty much so for my training because I'm part of the UV Blackbirds right now. That's the University of the West Indies of KFL. And as the COVID come around, all campuses was closed, and that is where I usually work out. So that was come to end after the COVID come around. So the facilities was closed down. But as far as being like knowledgeable to do things at home, my road races, my sit-ups, my push-ups, my core work, staying in shape, eating right, like that is something that I knew personally to do. So I just put it to work to replace. Like I understand I can't use the facilities, I can't use gyms, I can't use the track, but I still have certain things I could do at home that I don't get too much of the shit, but I could able to maintain some sort of fitness.
And what about what about the social distancing and everything? How's that working for you? And even like how's all that stuff working for you personally?
Um, Social distancing, as they say, track and field is really not a team sport in terms of like basketball and football where you be getting like contact. You could still do a workout and your coach could be 6 feet apart from you. Your other competitors could be 6 feet apart of you. So that it is not really affecting me. It's just the point that the facilities are closed down. You can't really do any work. I mean, you could find an open field somewhere that you could get in some work with you and your coaches and stuff like that. But as far as the social distancing, we still take our precautions because you know we're athletes. We need to keep our bodies in shape. We take all safety measures, but it's not really affecting us like that, or affecting me, I should say like that.
All right, and now going back to the sponsorship, have you been trying to reach out to some of the local businesses, and talk to some of them? I mean, you have some of the other businesses there. You got Chafet, you got all different kind of businesses in Barbados. Have you been reaching out to them for sponsorship, or better yet, do you have a management company that reach out to them for sponsorship?
Over 2 years ago, I was part of a management company by the name of All Star Athletics. But as I said, for you to get a sponsorship deal, you need to perform at a certain level. And in order for you to perform at a certain level, you need some sort of support to get to that level. It's not like they say, well, we see potential, we want to invest in you. You know what? Um, sure, we can invest in you because we see potential. Here is like you got to perform first and then they will invest in you. It's not like the other way around. We see potential, then we will invest in you. As far as local companies, it's all about marketing because at the same time, track and field here in Barbados, sorry to say, it stops at the junior level. Like after Carifta, no one recognizes you. Like you ask most Barbadians about track and field, the only thing they could probably tell you about is Carifta and Olympics. Ask them about any other events going on, they can't tell you. The only thing they know is Carifta, which is a junior meet.
Okay, so what about so you're saying that that's the way it is in Barbados? Is it different in other places? I mean, I know in the United States you might find people that get more sponsorship, but what about the other islands, the other Caribbean islands, and different places? Do you find that the sponsorship that people invest in the potential, or is it pretty much the same thing?
Based on my experience traveling and experiencing different cultures, it's pretty much different because at the same time I could use 3 Caribbean countries or 4 Caribbean countries, and I could use a small island like Grenada. They're smaller than us. We take more athletes to the Olympics than them, but somehow they're coming off with more podium performances than us, and they are smaller than us. They carry like at least 4 or 5 athletes to the Olympics, and they're coming back with gold medals, and they're way smaller than us in terms of track and field, and yet we have better potential than Grenada. Another example, Jamaica. Jamaica don't always send their athletes overseas to train because they have a circuit made in Jamaica. So like, when you leave high school, you could decide to go and train with somebody else, and your talent remains in Jamaica. So they invest in you. Also, Bahamas, the same thing. Every time you go to the Olympics, the only persons that bring back the medals from the Caribbean, Bahamas, Trinidad, Jamaica, Grenada. What is this? Because they're investing in their athletes before the Olympics, not the same year or 3 months before, 6 months before. They understand that is a process. So 4 years, 5 years before the Olympics, they're actually investing into their athletes. They're into Olympic camps, they're um camps and training sessions. Whereas, you know what, we see potential here. This is our investment. We need to invest from early. In Barbados,
Hmm. Go ahead.
we got a tendency that we wait till probably the same year or the year in front, and then we scrambling to find funding to start out athletes to get ready for the Olympics. Like what kind of athlete 6 months before the Olympics? If you want him to bring home podium performances, what can an athlete do 3 months before the Olympics? Nothing. It doesn't work like that. And I think we need to get to understanding that you want us to be world class athletes, you need to start treating us like world class athletes because we are world class athletes.
So you're finding then that the government of Barbados is not supporting the athletes that they want to represent the country, the people that's supposed to that are going to represent the country?
At the end of the day, I think is only so much so the government can do because it's come down to knowing and having knowledge about the sport. And in order for the government to have knowledge about the sport, we, the people in the sport, the organization, need to put our knowledge out there so the government could say, you know what, I have some kind type of knowledge about this sport. I need to invest in this sport. Because we have it starts from the body. Like we have track meets here. It starts from marketing. Like why wait a day before a track meet to put it on the radio station? Whereas from the beginning of the year, you should be having these track meets out there for marketing. Like you have seniors here in Barbados, like more seniors. This is the first time in the world that we have more seniors here at competition level than juniors. And that is something we need to market because you can't just look at the juniors all the time because after juniors, we are already heading into seniors. And you need to build the senior program just like how you're building the junior program because after you leave the junior stage and you come into seniors, there's nothing to work towards. Whereas for junior, you have the Carifta games, you have for juniors, you have for youth, you have youth Olympics. Those are goals for them to work towards, and they also have scholarships that they're looking to get. So they are working. After you go to college as a senior, you come home, you got to go and work. You can't come and say nobody want to continue a career here in track and field that the government is going to invest in me. That's what
Well,
I'm saying. No,
you're using the terminology juniors and seniors. What age limit is a junior and what age limit is a senior?
from the age from the on from the is it goes like this. It goes on the 15, on the 17, on the 20. That's from 15 years to 18 years. After your 18 years, you're considered a senior. So you could only compete at senior meets. Whereas for junior, from that age range to 15 to 18, you get to compete as a junior. So after you leave that, there you're no officially you can't compete amongst the juniors. You got to go to the senior rankings now, where you compete against the seniors.
So Aura was asking, what do you suggest young athletes not to eat if they're trying to move to the next level? As far as a diet, what does a typical diet look like?
For track and field, you got it all depends on the type of structure, the type of body type the person is because you could have one person come out here, you could eat fatty burgers all day and don't gain no weight. They won't have no sort of body problems. Whereas you have another athlete that immediately after eating a fatty burger, he put on a few pounds, or he
That
have
part would
some
be
kind of
me.
health.
I'm the one that would eat on the burger and get a couple of pounds. I don't even have to eat the burger. I just walk. I just drive by McDonald's and automatically like 5 pounds just jump on me. Boom. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, so it all depends, and it does, and you will realize it doesn't much affect a junior like a senior because as a junior we run around, we eat all sort of stuff before we go and compete, and it doesn't affect us. But as we get the senior, we now start to mature, the body start to go through changes, your metabolism system start to increase a bit more. You can
Mhm.
realize that certain foods and stuff that you eat will affect you. But as a senior, I could tell you getting your protein, getting your vegetables. Some people don't like supplementing. They prefer to go the raw way and organic, which is the vegetables, fish, protein, that sort of stuff. Whereas some people still do eat right, but use supplements, to recover after training sessions and stuff.
Arlo says so he can still have his white rum.
Um, occasionally, not too much. Occasionally,
All right, so a bottle here, a bottle there. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Oh man. So tell me, so what would you say to the to potential sponsors out there? I mean, because again, well, you said you used to be part of a management company. So you're not part of a management company now?
No, I'm not part of the management company anymore. As I said, it was a trial run because they needed to hit certain times in order to receive certain sponsorships, like to attract certain shoe companies. And the event that you're running is you it's not an event that you could be home base in Barbados to train at, because you have to be at high altitude at certain points, because it's also a sprint but it's still a distance. So you also need the lung capacity to be up. You also need to get in your high altitude training. And we, as you see, Barbados, we are at sea level or below sea level. I think we are at sea level. So we don't get as much oxygen that is required for 800-meter to get to that level. So that's where you see certain people will leave and go to Mexico, Texas, certain high altitude places where they could get the oxygen that their body require to get in the training they need. Whereas here, no, we don't get that. So you're working twice as hard with less oxygen. So really and truly, is only so much surely, there's only so much that talent will take you, and then they got the like the minor stuff that you need to get to the next level, I would say.
So no, I was speaking to Ryan Bradford before, and he was on the call on the show what about 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and he was talking about some of the issues that he ran into with management companies here in the U.S. Have you run into any of those kind of problems where the management companies where you end up you made a ton of money and ended up with a small check or even a bill instead of a check?
For me, in terms of that on that topic, I won't say that I run into trouble, but it was a learning experience to me. There's certain stuff that I didn't understand, like agents taking a certain percentage and stuff. So when they actually got my first check cut and they started to see like 15% coming from this budget or 50% coming from that check, I was more curious about why. But then after what I started to understand, like it depends on what contract you sign. Like you got to go over all contracts before you sign any contract, because there's a lot of loophole in these contracts that agents and managers don't actually put to you. Like they will put the good stuff to you, and then the fine print you don't actually go through. You just look at the sum of the money and be like, oh, that's a lump sum. But in the end, it's really not much after they started deduct their percentage out of your cuts. So it's all about finding the correct management, and you got. I would suggest like you got to get lawyers and stuff to go over contract, because they did run into some difficulties in the last few years with contracts and stuff. But that was on me because it was reckless. I did not have anybody go over the contracts. They signed contracts, and that was my mistake on my behalf. So it's all about taking the correct road.
So your um, advice to others then would be to definitely get your own lawyer to look over it.
Yes, please, definitely. Before you sign any contract, you need to get somebody to look over your contract. You read your contract, have an understanding before you sign the contract. See what you want, see what you can get out of it. If that's what you want, go for it. If that's what you don't want, you can stick it out, because at the end of the day, they want you more, they need you more than you need them. That's why I try to tell athletes. Without them, there's no you. Without you, there's no them.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, like, all right. Looking back now at some of these agents, you couldn't call them up, and even some of the ones that you might have gotten some sponsorship or anything through before, and they could help you with some of your future endeavors. I mean, if you call, like, let's say, who did you have a sponsorship with before? Did you get any?
No, I was with All Stars Athletics. That was a more independent situation there. So it was more as a, I would call it a hustle. You go there, you run. When you run, you win, you get paid. That's how it was the situation there. And it was a more, it was not like other people where they have shoe companies, whereas even if they don't come in the top three or they don't get prize money, they're still getting a check cut at the end of the year from their shoe sponsorship. So it was more of a, like a hustle. Like you gotta get up, you gotta make it into the prize money every race, and that's how it was for me. So it was more, I would say it was a difficult process, but at the end of the day, it was more like you got to remain disciplined by doing it. Because you know, if you don't get up, you know, if you go to the race and you're not in shape, um, you ain't gonna get paid. So in order for you to get pay, you had to get up, you had to be in the top three, you had to get in the races and get to the money. That's how it was. Because you know at the end of the year, when your check cut, you're not getting a bonus from no shoe company or anything like that.
All right. And I just wanted to take a second to actually talk about one of our sponsors. Give me just a moment. Speaking of sponsors, so if you guys want to get your hold on, there we go. If you guys want to get your car detailed or anything, give Kervins a call. Let me put his information up on the screen. The flyer didn't take up the full screen. I got to work on that part. You'll see that next week. Yeah, because it is Friday. So give Kervins a call. Kervins car detailing. His prices are competitive. He comes out to you. He comes to you no matter where you are, at work, at home. He does an awesome job. He did my car. It looks like brand new. I'm telling you, you guys definitely got to give our Kervins a call, all right? 954-549-8507. So it's Kervins Car Detailing, and it's 954-549-8507. Tell them you saw it here on Lunchtime Talk with Steve, all right? All right, guys, so let's get back over to Antonio. So now we have Antonio back in here with us. Antonio, so what? This is the thing that I'm trying to understand. All right, we have a lot of athletes in the island. We, the government and people are quick to say after the person win, then it's now you're all over the nation. You're all over, the Advocate. You're all over all these different papers and everything in the news. How about before? I mean, what does, and I'm pretty sure there's got to be a branch of the government that handles stuff like this. What does the government do for the athletes that are going out there? What does the government do to help that athlete that is actually going to brand the name of Barbados when they win?
Hey, that's a very tricky topic because, as I said, it's all about how you execute, what you do, and like the podium performance. Said, why wait until we actually get a podium performance to give us stuff? Like
that's what I'm saying,
it's
though.
not. I mean, at the end of the day, pardon me.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Shouldn't the government invest in you before you do that podium? Because honestly, if they don't invest in you, and again, there's got to be a division in the government that has money that can do that. I mean, whether they pull some of the money from tourist board, from wherever, there's got to be a division that does that. Because you going out there and you wearing that name Barbados on your chest and you running. It gives them that publicity. It gives them the
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Antonio? Can you hear me now, Antonio? Can you hear me now? Hello. I'm not sure what happened. Can you hear me, Antonio?
Hi. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Go ahead and drop out and come back in if you want to, and see if that works. I'm not sure if Antonio can hear me. My message to ask him if he could hear me. All right, he just dropped out. He's going to come back in just a second. And let's see what happens there, because honestly, what I'm thinking is, and I could be wrong, but And if any one of you are watching from the Barbados government, from any government that could shed light on this, let me know, because I feel like there should be some kind of funds that should be available. Again, I mean, whether it falls under tourism, whether it falls under whatever, because when you run an Olympic race and you see, there he is, he's back in, Antonio.
Hi.
All right, perfect. There we go. No, so what I was saying is when you run an Olympic race and you have Barbados across the front of your chest, that is direct promotion for for the country. So there should be some kind of funds, whether it come from the Board of Tourism or whoever. There should be some kind of money that they could invest in you as an athlete that is building the brand of Barbados. And every time you run, every time you whatever you're doing, you have Barbados on your shirt, right?
Yes. Yes, please.
That right there is direct advertisement for the country. I can't understand how the government don't have money for that, but I see Barbados commercials running on TV all the time. I see the people on Wheel of Fortune giving away trips to Barbados, and I know that the tourist board is paying for that. I see all these different things. So if they can have money for those, they should have money to help our young athletes to move forward. I mean, to me, it's like I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying, because at the end of the day, as they say, it stops at the junior level. We are seniors. We don't have nothing to work towards. I mean, at the end of the day, we could put on our clothes, wear Barbados, go there and win a million races, but we still don't have that support. That is from us being dedicated to the sport, that we are out there, that we are motivated through our training sessions, through, I want to be something, I want to be good. Even if you put something out there that we could work towards and say, we have some type of assistance that at the end of the day, that I could fall back or something, depending on, even if I had a bad race, I still have some kind of financial support from the government. It will be a lot easier on us, because, as I said, we have our athletes are up there with the rest of the world. Like, we have proven that we could be competitive with the world. We have proven that we could bring home podium performances. And we also have proven that we don't have to go to another country to develop our talent. Our talent can be developed right here in Barbados. We just need the support, the facilities, and the resources. Like, we are talented athletes. Like, we are amongst the best. We just don't have the support.
Now, Ryan is saying that there's no sports development plan and there's no sports tourism, which I understand, right? And he's saying we need action, not words. But what I'm saying is we need, if you're directly, if they had to get look at it this way, if they had to get a commercial during the Olympics, they would have to pay millions of dollars for that commercial. But yet
It's
you
true.
are that commercial for free.
Yep.
I mean, and not only that, how does an athlete feel like? And I'll ask you that question because I was asking Ryan that question before too. I asked him that off air. But how does an athlete feel in Barbados when you go and you see a Usain Bolt athletic complex in Barbados? You don't have an
Uh,
Obadiah Thompson one in Barbados. You don't have a Ryan Braffett one in Barbados. And I guarantee you, you will not see a Barbadian athlete have a sports complex in Jamaica. I could guarantee you 100%, without a doubt,
Correct.
that you're not going to see Jamaica build a complex and name it after any of the Barbadian sprinters. So that I could guarantee you. And again, if anybody want to prove me wrong, feel free to post a comment. Feel free to come on the show and prove me wrong. But I would not. I guarantee you, you won't see that day that Jamaica is going to build a complex and name it after Ryan Brathwaite or Obadiah Thompson or any of these people. So how do you, as an athlete, feel when you see a Jamaican guy have a sports complex in Barbados, but they don't even want to give you money for your sponsorship?
Underappreciated. I don't undervalue. Like, that just go to show how much you value us, how much you appreciate us. Like, we like before you look out for someone else, you gotta look out for your own first. And
Mm.
you there, when you see him boat put on his national gear, you don't see Barbados, you see Jamaica. When a Barbadian put on national gear, you see Barbados. When we go to the Olympics, you see our faces wearing Barbados logo. So at the end of the day, I just think that I just go to show how much they value us, how much they appreciate us, and like I just think it's a slap in the face. Like you got to look out for our own first, like show our appreciation, show that you appreciate us, and maybe for sure, like we will be motivated by that. I mean, some people don't need it to be motivated. By the end of the day, it's an extra boost. Like it shows that what we are doing is not just being done in vain. That is actually being appreciated. That our effort, our success is being monitored, is being some kind of interest is being put forth in it. And at the end of the day, just think like look out for our own first. You got to.
Definitely, we have to start looking at it. We have to start. We want to talk to people about Barbados, and we want to talk to them about promoting Barbados. But then, what's Barbados doing for promoting our athlete like yourself and like Ryan and Obadeli and the others? What's being done? And it's so crazy. And I mean, and I would speak directly to any person of the government of Barbados if they want to come on the show, if they want to text, email, call. They know how to get a hold of me. Trust me. They could get a hold of me when they have events and everything, so they could get a hold of me now too. But they I would definitely speak to any one of them, and I'll tell them you guys got to do better. Madam Prime
It's true.
Minister, you're doing a good job in a lot of aspects. And yes, whenever you're doing a good job, I say you're doing a good job. But in this part, you guys are dropping the ball, and we really need you to step up and do something. We need whether it's the consul generals for different areas, whatever, step up and do something. If the governor general, if you're the minister of tourism, whatever, somebody somewhere has some discretionary funds that they can use in order to put towards our future athletes. Somewhere, someone has discretionary funds. And if they don't, I fail to believe that, because they have discretionary funds when they want to take their family on vacation to Europe, and they have all the different funds when they want to waste it, stuff like that. So something as important as this, I challenge the Barbados government to step up and do the right thing. I challenge you, step up and do the right thing. Dwayne Beckles say I'm here. Dwayne Beckles, okay. What's going on, Dwayne? Ryan is saying, let's see. It takes all our athletes to stand up and demand, which is true. You guys all need to get up and say something. Seriously. All of you guys need to get up and say something. Not just one person here and one person there. You have to get up and say something, especially the athletes that we had in the past. Because when I start to hear other people talk about, how they didn't get the land that was promised to them by the government, the money that was promised to them by the government. So they come on, they go on TV and they just hold up a big check and say, "Oh, we're going to give you this money," and then the money never comes true. I mean, come on, we
It's
got
true.
to do better. We have to do better.
I agree.
Such matter. And I know that there's a lot that you guys can't, that you guys need, and even again the local companies. Chafet's been around for years. Let's be for real. Chafet
Decades.
can
Yeah,
sponsor. They can sponsor KFC. Be for real. Kentucky Fried Chicken make a lot of money in Barbados. They could
it's
sponsor.
true. Agreed. I agree totally.
We need these businesses to up. Step up. It's time, because I guarantee you, if it was somebody else on the other side of the tracks, because as we know, there's two different sides to every country. There's a black side and a white side. We know this. Dwayne said, put pressure on these people. If it was one of these little white kids that from Millennium Heights or one of them, they damn sure would have found the money to give them to sponsor. I guarantee you. And the thing is, they don't need the money, because the people know you live up in that area. You living next to Rihanna and Oprah. You're not living, next to Steve. You living up in the area. Rihanna, Oprah, Tom Selleck, them kind of people live up in those areas. those kind of areas. So if you live up in those areas, you already have money. But the government don't have a
Yes, sir.
problem giving you money when you live in those areas. But you live in a poor area, and all of a sudden, oh well, we're not sure. No, come on, do better. You guys got to do better. I know I'm ranting
Yes,
a little bit, but honestly, they have to do better. And I challenge the prime minister, the governor general. I challenge all these people to step up and do the right thing. Sponsor this young man. Help him to get to his Olympic dreams. Help these guys to get where they need to get. All right, they need to. But anyhow, that's my
I agree.
soapbox moment there. So tell me, so what about your, when you're traveling and everything, how are your bills and everything paid here? Because how's everything being done here? Your family, they just take care of their own, or what happens?
Um, for right now is like as I say, is we don't have that sort of support right now. Is a hustle. We just started for in order to support our athletes, well, the group they have around us. We
Mhm.
decided to start a fitness group called Fast Forward Fitness. Like we train people, we give them knowledge. Um,
Mhm.
we give them support, and also like we do motivational sessions and stuff like that, so that we had to find somewhere in order to keep our heads over the water. So we decided to come together, a group of us, and we got with a gym near Genesis Fitness over here in Hawks Village. We decided, you know what, we're gonna come together, put a plan together, and support ourselves until the government could at least come through. We would do this until we could keep our heads above water. So right now that's the plan. We hear some of us are still finishing school. Because as you say, you still need somebody to fall back upon after track and field is over. So for right now, it's just a hustle. Our family, we gotta get them to understand that the dream still remains. Like just hold firm. The dream is still is going to happen. We just in a tight spot right now. We just trying to keep our heads above water until a dream could come true, a miracle could happen, where we could just say, you know what, I could run track without having to worry about my family not being feed or having to worry where the next meal is gonna come to. Like that is the dream. Until then, we just gotta keep our heads above water.
And you know what? And someone just sent me a message yesterday on my phone too, saying that you can't depend on the government to do everything. And I honestly disagree with that statement. A lot of times people will email me or send me WhatsApp messages or whatever instead of putting in the chat. I disagree with that statement, and the reason why I disagree with that statement is because when these athletes go out there and win a gold, the first thing the government do is say he's from Barbados, he's one of ours, and you have them all over, talking about how great it is in Barbados and this and that and all kind of stuff. So they
It's true.
capitalize when people win. They need
It's
to
true.
invest. They need to invest in the people that they want to win. Your
It's true.
capitalization on that person winning should be a return on your investment. It shouldn't be a
It's true.
return on somebody else's
And
investment.
maybe I know I know the cross too. When we go on the podium and you see Barbados, that's the whole world. People that never heard about Barbados is actually seeing Barbados. Like they were actually gonna Google it. They never heard about this little island called Barbados. And from there,
Exactly.
you don't know. It's a tourist destination. Like you know what? I just saw Barbados on TV on the podium. I want to go to vacation to Barbados next year. I want to see the culture. I want to experience the culture. Like it's free marketing. Like when we win, y'all win. The whole island win. It's not just like I win, like Antonio Masca win alone. When I win, the whole of Barbados win. Like everybody win.
And that's the thing. And even like what Dwayne is saying, he said that's true. But where does the governing body fall? What's their job? Okay, so he has a good point there. What's their job? Let me tell you what's their job. Their job is to sponsor the athlete. Their job is to invest in the athlete. And when that athlete wins and they get that return on their investment, then they can promote that. Then they could feel good, pumping their chest and saying, "Okay, we did this and we did that." Because one of the things that I compare it to is you look at some of these athletes that like I don't remember which basketball player it was. His father ran off when he was a kid, left him and his mom, to fend for themselves, all kind of stuff. Then when he became a big basketball star, then it's, oh, that's my son. He wasn't your son all the rest of the time when he needed food and money for different things. All of a sudden, he's only your son when he's a basketball player. It's the same thing. So that's exactly where the government body where their job is. Their job is to promote them. You can't just come and jump on the bandwagon after the person win, and then after if the person
Exactly.
and then if the person shunned them, then all of a sudden it's going to be, oh, see, that's a no. The person shunned them because you shunned them.
It's
It's as
true.
simple as that. Earl is saying they should take a page from Jamaica, and yes, they should. They should, because I'm telling you, again, like I said, you will not go into the island of Jamaica. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. As good as I'm black and sitting here in this chair, I guarantee you that you will not go into the island of Jamaica and see a complex, a sports complex named after a Barbadian. I guarantee it. And if there's anybody in Jamaica that can prove me wrong, take a picture and send it to me. Take a picture and send it to me. I guarantee you, I would turn as white as Michael Jackson if you do that. All right. I am dead serious. That's how serious I am. But the government need to step up. They really need to step up.
It's true.
You know.
It's true. And
Go ahead.
I just want to say this: if there are any doubts out there that your investment is going to go to waste, I guarantee you, we are potential athletes. We have proven ourselves that we can compete against the world. Like we just had before we won relay there from Barbados. They just won gold at the CSC games. Like
And how many
it's
people, how
not
many different countries competed in that game?
that was mostly CSC. That was like Central America games. So
Mm.
it was quite a few. And there were among the USA, Canada, all the Caribbean countries, Jamaica, Bahamas, Trinidad, and they come out victorious. So it's not a sign that we can compete against the world.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're saying that you guys went to the CSC games and you took gold against all these countries that have all the big sponsorships and everything and have the people
Yeah,
giving them the money, you have the raw
yeah,
talent. Why? Oh, I can't understand. Prime Minister, I'm telling you, Prime Minister, get on the ball. You guys got to do something because you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? This is what I'm gonna do. I am gonna start putting more and more and more and more things on the show about these things because we got to step up. We cannot just keep jumping up and down for carnival or for crop over all the time and not putting some of the money into the people that we have. I mean, everywhere I go, from the time I was younger, I hearing about all these different people, from Barbados and all kind of stuff. And even before, because I'm from Barbados originally, and even before I came here to the United States, I would hear about all different kind of people. Darcy Beckles, all these people from back in the day that the bodybuilders and Garfield Sobers and all them. But come on, we
yeah.
can't just celebrate people after they do something. We got to help them.
It's true.
Let me see, Roderick Best. The issue to me is that, oh, hold on, let me get a little bit closer. The screen is all the way over there. The issue to me is that, not to knock sports, but a lot of sports are left out in Barbados, and track and field is one of those. Only those winning track athletes get recognized. But see, here's the thing though. All right, I'm going to stop in the middle of his comment. He said only the ones winning get recognized and acknowledgement. But yet, when they promise things by the government, they're still not getting those things. So are they really being
It's true.
recognized and acknowledged? Just because you get your picture in the newspaper and you get your what do you call it? Your a quick 2-minute interview on the news, that doesn't mean anything because again, speaking to
Doesn't
a lot of these people, they haven't gotten the money and the land that they were promised. They haven't gotten a lot of stuff that they were promised by the government. So that part about athletes being recognized and acknowledged, I'm gonna have to disagree with that part. As an athlete, that hurts. That no matter how good you are, and how you place, you could be first. You could be the first Bajan to come seventh out of 500 people, and the headlines would should still read that you're. Oh, the headlines would still read that you're a failure, and that's true. I got to give you that point there too. I got to give you that point. If you come seventh out of 500 people, we should celebrate that. We should celebrate you.
It's
Because that gives you the push and the determination to come fifth or fourth or third or whatever in the next one, and eventually first. We have to celebrate.
yep.
So what do you say about Roderick's comment?
I agree.
So Roderick, let me ask you, what do you say? And Roderick, I'm assuming you're still watching. What do you say about the complex, the Usain Bolt complex, not named after a Barbadian? What do you say about that? What's your thought? Since there's a little delay, it's going to take him about a minute to reply because there's a short delay on Facebook. So, what about, and I mean, all right, so have you been out there trying to get sponsorships on your own? I mean, Simpson Motors, all these different people that are big companies that have capitalized off the black community in Barbados for years. So, have you
Uh,
reached out to any of them?
Actually, we have. I had since I have left All Stars Management, I have gathered a new management team, and we had got together, put some proposals together, and we sent them out. We had never got any feedback like that. No feedback have come back, and it was just like a dead end. And we have done that with more than one company, and it was no sort of feedback. Like I don't know if it didn't reach them, but we made sure that we put the proposals out there. We have sent them off, and it was not even feedback like, I can't do this at the moment, or we could help you at such and such a time. It was completely no feedback.
All right, this is what I suggest to you guys. I suggest that you guys start to boycott some of these companies and ask people to boycott them. The same way people are picketing here in the United States and all over the world, Black Lives Matter and all kind of stuff like that. You guys need to start to form a movement where you're going to tell people, listen, we're asking these companies for support, and they're not. So if the company don't support you, stop supporting the company. I mean, seriously, Shafet is not the only place in Barbados that make roti. If you feel that you ask Shafet, and I'm just using them as an example. I don't know if you did. So but I'm just saying, if you ask them for sponsorship and they say no, or they don't even give you a courtesy of a response, don't go back to them, because your money should be, you shouldn't spend your money where they are not respecting you. And that whether it's any of those major companies, again, like I said, you got Simpson Motors, you got Wabisco, you got all these different people. Let's be for real. I mean, we buy more products from them than anybody else. So if
Agreed.
they're not supporting you, start an initiative to boycott these companies. I'm serious. You guys got to. That's one of the things I just started talking about earlier too. We have to start supporting our black-owned businesses, and the black-owned businesses have to start supporting us as well. Because if you have a business and you see that this man is an Olympian, try to help him. You might not have the money, but you might have fruits and vegetables. Help this man. If you see that he needs that, and you have a stall selling down in town or whatever, help this man. Give him some fruits, some
Agreed.
vegetables, whatever. It don't have to be money all the time.
It's agreed.
Um,
I always quote that we are stronger together than divided. That was my number one quote. We stronger together than divided. You build me and I build you. At the end, we all have the same destination, but different journeys. But that does not mean that we supposed to pull down each other. That you see another black man and help, you help him out. Because in the end of the day, you don't know where you could need that help later on in the future. So I
mhm.
guess we there's different ways of thinking, but we need to help out each other, man.
Yeah, Dwayne was saying we need to have another session where he could speak, and I definitely encourage anyone that wants to be on the show. Just go to my website, go to lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com, and book a session. right there. Just click it and book it. It's free. It don't cost you a thing. And I really would love to have conversations with you guys on the show. So just go to lunchtimetalkwithsteve.com after the show, of course, not right now. And yeah, let's do this. I would like to have all you guys on the same show. I'd like to have, if you guys could get me Obadeli on there, you guys could get me, well, I got Ryan, I could get in touch with Ryan, but if you guys could get the others on there, let's do this. Let's have this conversation, because I'm telling you, the time is done. It's done for money to only be traveling in one direction. Done. Not just DONE,
Agreed.
but
Agreed.
DUN, done. Money
Done.
got to travel in both directions. Can't just travel in one direction.
True.
Roderick,
Agreed.
Roger said, my take on that is, first, it was it was to be under Ryan, but due to UE being more than just one entity, assume it was done. Yeah, but here's the thing, and all right, let me finish this comment and see first. Because UE was more than one entity, assume it was an overall decision to name it under the fastest man alive. But as was said, Jamaica won't do it, and that's true. If the fastest man alive was from Barbados, Jamaica wouldn't wouldn't name the complex in their UE campus after him. I guarantee it. I got a lot of friends from Jamaica,
Yes.
and they'll tell you they won't do it. I guarantee it. I got
It's
a lot
true.
of friends from Jamaica, and none of them. My phone is blowing up right now. I tell you, because they're texting me, and I tell you, my friends from Jamaica know for sure they won't do it. So for the Barbados government,
Agreed.
it's foolishness. And yes, it's dumb. No matter how you put it, it's still wrong. You know. So anyhow, so any one of you guys that want to be on the show, let me know. Any of you guys out there that own a company, if you sponsor this man, all right, get in touch with him, sponsor him. Let's go ahead and get him to the Olympics, because we can't just start celebrating people after they do something good. We can't celebrate them after they start to win. You know, I mean, then it's like, oh my God, he's from Barbados. At that point, he's gonna say, "Hey, you just not noticing?" So Antonio, it's coming up on that time for you and me to both head back to work. But I thank you very much for being on the show, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you too, man.
I know I did a lot of the talking, but that's because I get so upset when I see things like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
All right, but I'm gonna get you back on the show again. I'm gonna get Ryan on. I'm gonna try to get a panel of athletes from Barbados on there, and talk directly to the government, let the government know how you guys feel, and then I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna email it to the consul general of every location. I'm gonna email it to the governor general. I'm gonna email it to the prime minister's office. I'm gonna email it to everybody. They're gonna get sick and tired of hearing the name Stephen Barrow. I'm telling you. All right.
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you being on the show. You have a good one.
You too, man.
All right. Guys, telling you, man, this is a new day and age. All right. We cannot just keep sitting back and saying, oh, the government this, the government that. We are the government. We are the people that give the government their power. All right. It is time that we stop supporting companies and people that don't support us. So if you are an Olympian or if you're an athlete, if you're doing whatever, and you're reaching out to these companies, regardless of where you are, you could be in Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, the United States, Africa, wherever you are. If you out there and you're talking to these companies, and these companies aren't responding, give you just a courtesy of responding to say, no, we're going to have to pass this time, or we don't have the budget, or whatever. That's a common courtesy. It's just good manners. And if they're not going to go ahead and if they're not going to do that, stop supporting them. As I was telling them, trust me, in Barbados, Chefette is not the only place that make roti. KFC is not the only place that sell chicken. Simpson Motors is not the only place that sell cars. You know what I mean? All these places are not the only ones, so you don't have to go to that particular company. Reach out to them and ask them for sponsorship. I'm not going to say that they're going to sponsor every single person, but if you have one that sponsor one and one that sponsor another and so on and so forth, it can be done. Because these are the same people that when you win, oh, all of a sudden some more want to give you a car. You want to give me a car now that I won, but when I needed the sponsorship to get there, you couldn't even help me to buy a pair of sneakers to run. I mean, come on, be for real. Come on. As I always say, when you know better, you do better. Now you know better, do better. All right. So as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other. I see the food line is growing again on the news. Get out there, help people. I see, and this is the thing, I see the food line growing, but I see like a mile of cars, but I don't see the people that are walking, catching the bus, whatever. So how are they getting their food? Help them out. Get out there. If you see that there's someone that needs it, give them a ride to the food line. Or if not, bring the food to them. Call up a friend that you haven't seen in a long time. Just to say hi, how you doing, check on them, Guys, as I always say, you are your brother's keeper, all right? And you got to take care of each other. All right, talk to you guys later. Peace.
Hey guys, I'm on my way to the office. I can't believe there's so much traffic out there. Just remember, if you get involved in a car accident during this quarantine, give me a call. Our attorneys are going to fight for you. They're going to assess the case, find solutions to your problems. Now you know, call me. My phone number is right up there or down there. Now you know.
Wow.